All right, give it up for the crew from Alien Romulus. We're waking up today.
That switch up was crazy.
Nobody expects it. We love it. We love it. Thanks for being here, guys. I cannot wait to see this movie. It looks intense as fuck. It is. How did you guys respond when you first saw it?
I think the thing that's most sort of overwhelming is that it's confirmation that we are now officially part of this iconic franchise.
Yeah.
You know, I think when we're on set, there's so much sort of play, and we're trying to figure out how to put the puzzle together. And then when you watch the finished product, I think what Fede did is really incredible. I mean, the balance of paying homage while also, you know, pulling up some tricks out of his sleeve and new surprises that I think the fans are really going to love. I think, you know, I just feel very lucky to be part of it.
Yeah, it's the 7th Alien movie. You know, at any time there's like a reboot or a sequel, there's always like a new catchphrase, and this one has the best because you hear like sequel, prequel, reimagining, reincarnation, remix, reboot. This one has one I've never heard, and I love it. You've been calling an interquel? Is this correct? An interquel? It takes place between Alien and Aliens, right?
It does. It does. But it's not there's no required watching for this one. I mean, it's one of those. It works on its own as a standalone story. This character all new. It's not necessarily something that you need to have seen this to understand this and that. So there's two type of audiences out there. The one that haven't seen anything, which is really, I'm so excited about that audience to suddenly be introduced to all this stuff, all the madness of 45 years of incredible science fiction horror ideas, all compact in 2 hours and plus more. But also for the fans, you know, of the franchise to kind of discover and find things they've seen before and love done in a new way. So it's kind of for everybody that way, but it's not really kind of the 7th chapter. I think that's usually kind of unfair to make a 7th chapter of something that started back in the 70s. It's unfair to the new audience, right? Like you got to give them an entry point, and this is definitely one.
Yeah, and we got to pay homage to those films, like I'm sure the film does in this interview, and just talk about like the heart and the soul of those Alien movies, which of course was Sigourney Weaver. Obviously, these are new characters, and all kinds of amazing actors were in those movies. I'm sure you guys look back at them at some point. Is there something you took from Sigourney or any of those other actors that you brought to this film?
I'm from a very, very similar area to John Hurt.
Okay.
So I'm from Leicestershire,
Legend.
and he is from Derbyshire. So we're both Midlands boys. So I definitely, I thought I was the first person from the Midlands, gonna be in an Alien movie, and then I found out that John Hurt was also from the Midlands, so that was nice.
I love that.
I think we all collectively love, we've spoken about it all, but the camaraderie, and especially in that first one, the opening scene, and they're all kind of sitting around on the ship just talking and just having general conversations and stuff, and you can really just see, you know, that they've worked together for a while, and recreating that within our group was very important.
But I think it's also different because we are younger, right? So it's a little bit more devastating to see us get knocked off. But then also there are more familial dynamics in this. We are siblings, not all of us. That's kind of random. But me and Archie, we're half siblings.
Okay.
Spike and Archie are cousins. David and Kaylee are like adopted siblings, I guess, in a way, in a sense. Yeah.
I don't think this is too much of a spoiler because we see a few of these in the trailer, but there's definitely some face hugging, a staple. Who here gets face hugged? Who can admit it? Who's in the trailer? and was that the best or worst day on set?
The only ones we can admit, you know, we can say they've been face huggers is the one that you've seen in the trailer. I wouldn't allow them to say they got face hugged if you haven't seen it on the trailers. But yeah, I mean, you get a very close encounter.
Close encounter.
Right?
Wow.
What was the question? Was it nice? What was the question?
How was that experience for you?
It was quite horrible. Very, very invasive.
Vulnerable experience.
Thank you.
I exposed Archie to this thing because there's a reason why. It's because in all the other movies, the facehugger happened, and you don't know really what they're doing until there's, you know, sometimes X-rays, and it goes, oh, there's a tube, and they're depositing these eggs inside them. You find out later, but for the new audience, you see the things jumping at people's faces, and the first thing the new audience is going to go like, what are they trying to do? Why the face? So we need to show what they were trying to do, and that shot in the trailer shows you what they're trying to do, which they're trying to get their tongue, their tube inside their mouth. So that's why You have to go through that, buddy.
Is it tongue? Is it?
Is it a
Genuinely
proboscis? That's
Okay.
the technical term.
Okay,
the
yeah, proboscis.
inside your mouth.
That's a fun name.
You got
For not a
proboscis.
fun body part.
It's the word of the day. We know there's a chest burst also. Happens to your colleague who's not here with us today, but Isabel, it looks like you were in close proximity to this chest bursting. Tell us about filming that.
That was a very unique experience for me, and even more so for Aileen Wu, who couldn't be here. But Aileen, I mean, what do you want to know? Like how it felt, or the technicalities?
I mean, how exciting is that a day on set? That's an iconic moment.
Very exciting. I also got to scream. I like that.
Speaking of screaming, Fede, you've directed some pants crappers in the past. Evil Dead, Don't Breathe. How would you sort of characterize this? This looks like a horror movie, obviously, but how would you characterize the tone of this one versus other horror films you've made?
No, I think that was the whole intention. You know, the original Alien was at the time one of the scariest movies ever made. Right, when people went in the theaters not knowing what to expect, and some people thought they were going to go see Star Wars. You know, Star Wars had come out the year before. People were like, "Oh, this is going to be like that," and then it wasn't. It was very, very terrifying, and that was pure horror, and then obviously more movies followed, and they naturally have to evolve into different places, like they did with the Aliens being more action horror, and Alien 3 being a prison movie. They kind of kept evolving, and I felt it was time to kind of bring it back. You know, I think sometimes the things they evolve too much and they might get lost in the wood a little bit, and you have to bring it back home. So the intention was to really bring it back to this purity of its original form, which is a horror movie. Right? What that means is what it's trying to do to you as an audience. The emotion you're gonna get when you go to see it is to be terrified. That's what people want to find when they go into one of these movies.
For the cast, I mean, how would you guys describe sort of the mood on a set like this? Is Fede doing anything to sort of like set the mood on set to kind of keep you guys on edge?
You know, it's about a 6-month shoot, right? So playing fear, at least speaking for myself, is one of the hardest things to sort of hold on to for that amount of time. Just to sort of be in that headspace for that long. So I think we had a director who was always prioritizing performance and character arcs, and I think he, sometimes had to keep us on our toes a bit, sort of remind us and keep it sort of fresh and surprise. So whether that meant like not letting us see the creatures before the actual day of filming, or I don't know, what were some of the surprises?
Usually it's like, the simple one is like with the Facehuggers, for instance, that we were saying, you're going to do the shot and you tell them, okay, from the left side, it's going to jump a Facehugger. Got it, they go. And then when we say action, I tell the guy on the left side to, the other side to jump.
Things like
so
that.
you do it in some safe, fun way, and obviously they're game for that, against their will. But once...
Or the scene where you see in the trailer of me with the close encounter with the xenomorph. It's like, okay, I know what this is. I got it. I know she's in this headspace and it's awful. She's about to die, right? Okay, got it. And then he, Fede thought maybe we keep the camera rolling for about 10 minutes of pure fear, which it worked.
Yeah, it felt shorter to me, but I'm sure it felt longer to you.